All right, so Avatar, Fire and Ash, you have so many different worlds to create. Let's start the Fire Ash people. In fact, what were the challenges of kind of creating a world where they can breathe in? Then, of course, later you got to blow it up. But starting with creating a world for them.
Well, that's the whole fun with Avatar. We get to design the pretty stuff and then blow it up. And so what was so much fun about the Ash people is that we got to create the anti-Na'vi. Because everyone was like harmonious with nature and very noble. And we're like, okay, let's do the fun guys, the bad fun guys that just destroy everything, are completely anti-AWAB, they're raiders, they're violent, they take Kurus and have all these skull totems. So it was just fun to lean into the dark side stuff and look at every single piece of bone and skull reference we can find with art, and kind of put on my 13-year-old boy hat and like watching Conan and stuff, right? And so and just really lean into that about the intimidation, because the whole thing is resilience, and we intentionally. It was in the script, but it made sense design-wise to put them in a burnt-out home tree to show that was their home. It tells their story, and it emphasizes that they're resilient. Like, no, we're not leaving. This is our way of life. We've adapted to this, and so it's a lot. Anytime you can tell story with design, then that's our goal, right? And so that was hugely beneficial. And then of course our other big clan were the Wind Traders.
Right. Yeah.
And that was my favorite thing to design. Just because just the romance of the gondola in the sky, these backlit huge medusoids at sunset. And besides being a striking visual, it was a massive challenge to figure all that out, because we had to design it in a system where there's the gondola, there's the medusoid, there's the wind ray pulling it. So it was a very complicated system that was, it took a lot of design and was all worked out. All that rigging that attached to the vanes to move it. I'm sure the Weta guys were telling you the same thing.
Yeah.
We worked it all out. And so much so where we had a manual on stage for Jim, so that the background performers knew what to do, what lines to pull out, what lines to let out based on what action we're doing. So it was, and what was fun is because we were doing 2 and 3 together, we were designing the Mech Hyena, the Reef people, the Wind Traders, and the Ash people all at the same time, which is a monumental undertaking. But it was great because we got to carve out, design real estate for each of them. So we sort of knew what we were doing, had no overlap, we were able to keep, distinct looks, and something as simple as color palette to weave patterns and materials and all that sort of stuff.
You also had to create a military industrial complex that was a lot more advanced than we've seen before.
Indeed.
Because of final conflict, there's a lot of action sequences there. What were the challenges of kind of creating the military side, the human side?
Yeah, well, that was my co-designer, Ben Proctor. And so we have 2 production designers on the film. I'm in charge of all things Pandora, Na'vi, creatures, environments. He's in charge of all things human, vehicles, and hard sets. And we work very closely. Even though we're in opposition, we're in fun, joking opposition. And he did an absolutely incredible job bringing that to life. And it just keeps escalating with him, where we get to see more Bridgehead, we get to see the amazing factory ship, and we got to up the ante.
All right, my last question is, how fun was it when you see the final shot of the Colonel going on his mushroom trip in your set?
It was fun, but at the same time, I'm like, stop blurring the set. You can't see all the detail. Come on, it looked great. You barely saw it. But no, it was a good time. No, but that was one of my absolute favorite sets because we layered that so deep. Even though it was realized digitally, we did so much practical stuff and research and layering, and it was amazing. It was just like the most lavishly decorated practical set, but we just happened to do it digitally. And so that was one of my absolute favorite sets. And